Alright, so a Veritas 48 video, figured I should do a response. Somebody should respond to this crap, so I guess I'll do it. I picked me.
About what a religious life looks like. After all, there's many different types of religions, and not all of them contain the same concepts that Fighting Atheist supposes in this video that I'm responding to. So from the start, we already have a problem with his video, one of oversimplification, if that's even a word.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's kind of directed. I mean, most people, when they're talking about religious people, they're not talking about benign religions. They're talking about the pain-in-the-ass religious dictators, okay? The members of your kind of organized, draconian, bastard religions that have to fucking place their icons on our fucking statues and our money. They have to have little prayer sessions with our president. They have to play all these fucking games. They have to take their fucking religion and try to shove it down other people's face. They use their morality and impose it on other people. Their dogma, okay? It's not their morality. If it was their morality, it'd be acceptable. If they conceived it, if they understood it, if it made sense to them intellectually, well, then it's acceptable. But no, it's dogma. It's crap written down by morons 2,000 years ago that you fucktards are trying to shove down other people's throats. Fuck you. That's who they're talking about when they're talking about religious assholes. All right, little Buddhists sitting around, you know, mumbo-jumbo and doing their Yoda thing. We're not talking about them, okay? That's just silly bullshit. Those people are irrelevant. They're not a menace to fucking societies. They haven't eradicated millions of people to gain their fucking dominance and control.
A Christian can just as easily look at the context and make a moral decision based off of it. And this in no way implies moral relativism either, which is, you know, I've shown that in my previous videos, I hope.
Well, what? It's just nonsense. So you're basically arguing that your Ten Commandments only means whatever the individual interprets it to mean. Right? So it's kind of useless knowledge, right? It's not good knowledge. It's not valuable knowledge. It's a simplistic nonsense. It's like the, you know, Chinese instructions for the video tape player or something, you know, where you get the 3 paragraphs and how to program it or something. Some kind of, you know, it's a simplification of the reality, and it doesn't do you any fucking good. There's no point in having a moral philosophy that's reduced to some stupidity like, you know, thou shalt not bullshit. Okay? I mean, the golden rule, in a sense, exempts the whole stupid thing anyway. So your fucktarded, idiotic religion, you iconize these little stone tablets because it's stone tablets and they're explicit law. And then you have something more sensible that just says, do unto others that you have others do unto you, which already eradicates, you know, 90% of the 10 Commandments. You don't need them anymore. I mean, the only thing that says to you is, I mean, obviously it doesn't have the commandment that thou shalt kiss God's fucking dirty feet. All right, yeah, so that commandment isn't included in the golden rule, but everything else is. So your fucking religion is idiotic. I mean, will you grow up and be a fucking human being? All right? There's no evidence to your damn religion. It's a fable told 2,000 years ago. It's a cartoon. It's a 2,000-year-old cartoon. Grow up.
Example, in your example that you give, if you were hiding Jews during World War II Nazi Germany, and a group of Nazis came to your door asking if you had seen any Jews, lying to them in this case would be trumped by the fact that innocent men, women, and children would be saved from slaughter. So,
yeah, well, what? No, God doesn't think anybody's innocent. So that's a pile of crap right there. Your fucking God said every woman shall have pain in childbirth because of Eve's sin. Okay? We're all fucking sinners because of original fucking sin. Because Adam and Eve were fucktards, we're all fucktards forever. Alright? So they are not innocent. There's no fucking innocence. All right? So that's bullshit right there. And depending on what religion you're a part of, you know, these people should have been eradicated and murdered to the last woman and child by your fucking Old Testament. You tell people to read the Old Testament. There's nothing in the Old Testament but grotesque ethics. Disgusting ethics. I mean, fuck you. Your religion is shit. It's gutter nonsense. It's gutter philosophy. It's useless bullshit. Grow up.
Pretty common sense, isn't it? I mean, lying about stealing a cookie from a jar is hardly as bad as raping and killing people. And the Christian is in no way inhibited from applying such a view of morality from within their religious worldview. In fact, If anything, one could make the argument that we're commanded to do so.
Yeah, well, why doesn't your God do that? Why does your God sit there and validate his philosophy every now and then, his commandments? Why doesn't he sit there and explain to people when they're faced with this dilemma of, whether or not they should lie to the Nazis or whether they should, always tell the truth and all this? Why doesn't he fucking intercede once in a while and write it on a fucking rock? Okay, why doesn't your God take some interest, okay, in these moral questions that basically people are just flipping a coin over? All right, so you have this whole fucking fucktarded Bible, this word of fucking God, and it really doesn't do people a motherfucking bit of good in the real world, because they still end up flipping some kind of jackass coin to make a decision. And you call that divine? You call that inspired? No, it's just flipping coins. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit way to define what the goddamn future is going to look like. You dumb fuck.
You say something to the effect of, atheists have the power to do what is right for all humanity rather than the forced perspective of doing what is right for a God. But do you understand that you've smuggled in some presuppositions here, that you're not capable of doing as an atheist? For example, what does it mean to do what is right for all humanity? Who determines what is right for all humanity? You? A 21st century Western American?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? That's what philosophy's job is. You all put your ideals and your beliefs and your logic on the table. You have the fucking discussion. And if you're civilized people kind of believe in democracy. It's the best out of the available choices. And so, yeah, you do it in some kind of democratic way. You say which one makes the most sense, which one can be most persuasively argued for, what ethic. But the ethics exist. You don't need a God to tell you it's not a good thing to kick an old lady in the ass. All right, you don't need a God to explain to you that things feel, that they have a welfare, okay, that they have a need to be comforted and kept away from harm. We all know what harm is. We don't need a fucking Bible to explain the word harm. We can all fucking understand that word.
American, I'm presuming? I mean, even implying that there is something that is right for all humanity implies a sort of telos to it, a sort of purpose. But
that doesn't imply anything, okay? A fucking tree's gonna fall down on something sentient, a fucking mountain lion cub, all right? Any rational, reasonable being, anything that has a brain, a logical, cognitive force that's capable of understanding what a consciousness is and what a sentience is, and that the fact that it can be harmed is gonna know, well, yeah, I will push it out of the way of the tree so it does not get crushed, all right? So you don't need a whole ton of information to have rational and solid ethics about doing the right thing. You don't need a creator behind the whole thing that you're going to sit there and decide, well, what did the creator intend when he knocked the tree over? No, that's not what you have to do. All you have to do is understand the dynamics that exist now. What the fuck exists in the world and what the fuck you have to value. What the fuck makes... what gives the universe what has value, the pluses and the minuses, and they're made up of things like harm and pleasure and desire and deprivation. We know what these fucking words mean. We know what they mean as a qualitative experience, okay? We know that's what this is about. Life is about an experience, you fucker. We're experiencing something as conscious fucking beings. That's what makes it significant. That's what makes us different than rocks, you asshole. And I don't need a God to tell me I'm not a rock. I can figure out I'm not a rock.
For all humanity takes you to my worldview. How can something be right for all humanity given your worldview? For example, for every...
Logic, you dumb ass. I mean, it really isn't that hard to add it all up, to just sit there and say, yes, I'm human, that over there is human, that over there is human. They all feel, they all have emotions, they all have needs, desires, drives. They all have a welfare that needs to be cared for, that there has to be concern, that you don't want the thing harmed for no good fucking reason. It doesn't take any fucking goddamn brain at all, not much logic, not much raw information at all to draw these simplistic fucking conclusions. And you fucktards with your dumbass religions have made it complicated. It's not fucking complicated.
Description you give me of something you see as right for all humanity, I can give you a person who with the same passion feels the contrary. How do you distinguish? What becomes the arbiter? Better yet, who becomes the arbiter? You need to supply an argument as to how you can know what is right for all humanity, and on what grounds you can distinguish what is right for all humanity and what is wrong for all humanity.
No, you distinguish between what is reasonable and what is unreasonable, and that's where you fail colossally. Okay, you believe in a fucking religion that only gained its popularity by annihilating anything that stood in its way. Okay, it killed the fucking world. That's how Christianity spread across the fucking world. It killed everything in its path. All right? That's the religion. That's the ideology you're endorsing. How did it win? Did it have a logical argument with the world? Did it win because it had a competition on who could make the most persuasive argument about what the truth is? No. It won because it stuck fucking goddamn spears through fucking people's heads. That's how it won the fucking argument. So, I mean, intellectually, you fail, okay? Your religion only exists. It only has presence in the modern era because it killed anything that competed with it. Any competing philosophy was annihilated, you dumb fuck. That's the thing you're cherishing. That's the thing that you said has merit. It has no merit. Its only merit is in oppression. Its merit isn't in fucking intellectual integrity. Its merit isn't in love. Its merit isn't in anything. It has no fucking value besides being an instrument of oppression.